Hey, this is Matt once again with the Bets video. This is a paid request for Lucas. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. I'll get to it as soon as I can. And for those who sent them, thank you. I appreciate it. Sorry about my voice. I did another video that was like yelling for like 80 minutes, so She-Hulk. So my voice is a little out of it, so I apologize. But thank you, Lucas. He's always been very generous, very kind. Hopefully this review will be okay. But like I say, any type of videos, requests, I should say, links are down below in the info box. PayPal is usually the best bet. Feel free to send them out to as soon as I can. But Carry On Dick. No, this is not a porno. I've been requested some pornos, but in the past. This is not one of them. It's a 1974 British comedy. And the title sounded familiar, but not in the way I thought at first. This is part of a franchise that I did review the first one, called Carry On Sergeant, which came out around 1958 or so. It was a franchise that lasted 31 movies, and one from 1958 to 1992. And they're British comedies where, really, at the end of the day, I wasn't a fan of this. It's pretty much a giant dick joke, as the title suggests. And that's the thing, I'm not big into British comedies. I mean, there's always exceptions. If you call Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz British comedies, okay. But I didn't grow up with that kind of comedy. The kind of comedy I grew up with was Red Skelton, Three Stooges, Abbott and Costello, then, Cheech and Chong, or Richard Pryor, or Eddie Murphy, or Andrew Dice Clay. Films like Friday, Big Lebowski, Clerks, then, Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle, or The Golden Child before that. Those are the type of comedies I grew up with, that are more my cup of tea. This, okay, it takes place 1750. This police force called the Bow Street Runners have been created to deal with crime, because crime is running rampant. They've done well, except this guy Richard Turpin, known as Big Dick. Why? Because of the size of his weapon. That's a literal one of the jokes. They like to rob women, make them undress for a bit, pull a necklace, the lady's pants drop. But it's 1974. It's nothing raunchy or anything in terms of nudity or stuff. It's just a lot of innuendo. So they even rob this upper echelon folks. So what happens is, long story short, the captain and the sarge try to go undercover to try to find this real Dick Turpin, Big Dick. And they meet this reverend, who we know is the guy, but they don't know it's the guy. It's just a constant amount of those cheap jokes, like the sergeant is Sergeant Jockstrap. Not kidding, his name is Sergeant Jockstrap. And he's one of the two. The other guy, the captain, he seems very ambiguous, kind of with the way he talks and stuff. Is just, he may not care for women as much as the other guys do, so to speak. Maybe gay, is what I'm saying. Although they don't say it. But they go to an inn, it's called the Old Cock Inn. They try to be undercover with the criminals and find where this Richard Turpin is. He wants to say Turbin, but it's Turpin. They meet someone and she says, oh, he's got a birthmark on his diddler. They talk with the Reverend, who we know at the end is the real Turpin, but they don't know. He's like, oh, well, they try to keep saying we need to look at people's junk, but as this guy's pretending to be a Reverend, he pretends he doesn't know what they mean. Not understanding this term, cock, well, I mean, they like their chickens. Wood, well, we don't have any woodcutters here. Like, those are the jokes. One guy's checking the dicks of every guy in the bathroom, while the other guy is set up. Just Reverend lies and says, I think that guy is Turpin, the guy who robbed you. What? So she goes up and seduces the guy. The guy was like, very faint in his voice and behave. She's like, let's go take a bath. Because she thinks she don't see a mark on his dick. A birthmark. Because again, the Reverend told her, oh, this must be the guy. And that's how you find out. They start tearing his clothes off. He gets scared, runs off. While the guy checked everybody's dick in the bathroom, lo and behold, they don't like that, and they run him off. And then the two of them get run off out of the inn. At one point, they get food in the door in this beating. They get arrested. They get thought of as the robbers themselves. They're in the little cubby holes. People throw food at them. The other people come in. I know I'm just trying to film the shit because I just didn't care what was going on. I didn't care about the characters. I did not care for this type of humor. Like the upper echelon people come by and they get the two out of jail, and the woman's like, oh my god, yeah, we knew something was up because he robbed us again when we're on our way and took my bracelet. Well, she says, he took my most treasured possession. And the guy goes, my lady, surely that went a long ago. My mother's bracelet, what are you talking about? And literally the music goes, wah, wah. As if even they knew that was a bad joke. Wah, wah. One of the cops finally has a brain and notices, hey, this lady looks like the lady that screwed us up and screwed us over and set us up. So they eventually stop her. She almost gets out of it. But say, but you're looking for a guy. Look, I'm a lady. But then the girl knows, wait, that's my bracelet you're wearing. So they arrest her. They put her in jail. So Richard Turpin, this other guy, they need to get that girl out of jail. Which, why am I supposed to care if they get her out of jail? Why am I supposed to care about the Reverend, a.k.a. Richard Turpin, this robber who's robbing all these people just for his own greed? Why should I care what happens to the person? Why should I care if they win? I mean, they're doing bad things, so you want them to lose. It hasn't given me anything to root against the cops and root for this guy. But yet, by the end, we're supposed to assume, hey, it's a happy ending. He got away. Why is that a happy ending? Why should I care that they got away? It's not like there was some noble cause that they were robbing. If it was like the cops are awful people and they're giving, take you from the poor and this guy, that's not the case. This ain't Robin Hood or any of that stuff. So the bad guys pretend to be ladies because that's a common British bit of comedy, is dressing up as women and trying to hit on other men. Yeah, your boss said he wanted us to keep you company. So that they could screw over the stupid cops, get their lady friend out of there. Finally, they figure out the Reverend is Richard Turpin, but they decide to be respectful and wait for his sermon to end. I'm like, do you know he's an... But by doing that, Richard Turpin, the others, screw over the cops, They ride off and escape. Looks like the one guy who's ambiguous looks like he's going to get fired. And why do I care that these criminals made it? Why? They get in a horse and buggy. They run off. They dare cross the border, whatever. Robbers come. Richard Turpin's makes a joke about pretty much ready to get laid. The robbers like, ha 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 ha. And they run off. For some reason. Oh, you have gotten laid. I understand that. Goodbye. And then it's over. I don't mean that as a disservice to Lutus who sent in the request. He's been very generous. It's nothing against him. It's just against the movie. But I said I'm open to pretty much any type of review, and I stand by that. So it's one of those things where if you're really into this franchise, if you're really into the Carry On films, you like their point of... I would say Carry On Sergeant, I wasn't big on that, but I could say I liked it more than this, because that one didn't feel as much of just a one note, one joke movie, one trick pony of a movie. At least for what little I remember. Like I said, I didn't love Carry On Sergeant, but I remember, I prefer Buck Privates, or Buck Privates Come Home, or When the Three Stooges Were in the Army, or other stuff. This is just, how many times can we make a dick joke? Oh, he's got a birthmark on his diddler. Oh, is the old cock in? Or if they're not making that joke, it's like, hey, we're dressed up as women and we're going to get this person out. We'll see how dumb the cops are. I'm like, why should I care about any of these characters? And I'm sorry, I didn't... The closest I came to chuckling was one guy says, I wish you a good follow-up of every endeavor. And the other guy goes, and up yours too. That was probably the closest I ever got to somewhat chuckling. But obviously, I guess this just isn't my franchise. This isn't my type of film. This isn't my cup of tea. If it's yours, I'm glad for that. Cool. Not for me. None of the actors... I think this is one of those films where a lot of the actors were in the first movie, but of course playing different characters because it's different time periods. But I barely remember that film. I guess with this film, a lot of folks, it was their last film. And some of them have passed away after this film. But apparently there's a chunk of people here that this was the last film they did of this franchise. And yeah, a bit of a change up from here on out of the cast. I can only take that on their word. So call it as maybe an American that's not understanding British comedy, or a guy who, I've seen now 2 of these and this doesn't seem like my cup of tea. Or I just don't, fine, I don't get the humor. It just doesn't seem like humor that's appealing to me. With actors I don't recognize, I'm not familiar with, characters that, I don't know, didn't do much for me, and a lot of the same type of joke that just got old quick for me. So with that said, thanks for watching, take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye for now.